guys, it's your girl Londyn, and today I'm bringing you a NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation review and a wear test. So if you're not familiar, the Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation line, I believe was expanded by Alyssa Ashley, and Alyssa Ashley is a beauty YouTuber here on the YouTube. She's super fantastic. I will link her channel in my information box down below. She produces fantastic content. She is a woman of color, and that's how I found her, because I wanted to find somebody who had a complexion that was close to mine, so I could see how foundations and eyeshadows and blushes looked on a skin tone that looked like mine. So especially if you're a man or woman of color, I think that she could really be helpful to you in that arena, seeing what products may or may not work for you and how they may or may not look on you. And then just overall, she has really fantastic content. So the line was expanded by her. This is created by NYX. It has 45 shades, which is fantastic. It's really expansive, and it's $14.99 at Ulta. Ulta also typically has a $3.50 coupon off of $15, so you add something, you know, that is a couple dollars more, and then you'll get some money off. So originally, I purchased the Nutmeg and I purchased the Golden shade. So when I purchased these is when they first launched, and it was buy one get one 50% off, which NYX usually does. So these were super affordable. It was difficult for me to find my shade range because they weren't in store yet. So looking through all the swatches online, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm not quite sure. Typically the shades that I matched with, whether it's in Fenty or any other brand, is neutral. I have a neutral undertone. However, I can wear goldeny yellow shades, and it brings warmth to my skin and it can make them work. But sometimes they'll go too yellow on me, and then some shades will go too red on me. So what I like to do is I like to stick with a neutral base and then warm my skin up with powder versus going too yellow in the foundation, because then I find throughout the day, especially once I put powder on, I get too yellow. So I have more of kind of like a neutral, I don't know, sometimes they tell me I have like olivey undertone, so it can be a little difficult for me to find my shade. So the Nutmeg and the Golden are both, I believe, neutral undertones, and these are the ones that I got. Of course I got them, and I found that I didn't necessarily think either one of them suited me just right. Like, they both could work fine on their own with some adjustments of powders, but together they worked perfectly. So mixed, they provided like just enough neutralness with just enough warmth, and that's how I've been wearing it for probably the past 3.5 weeks, almost on a daily basis. I've been wearing these. Then Influencer sent me a box, and they sent me the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, and the color they chose for me was Warm Caramel. And I have not worn this yet, so I don't know how the color Warm Caramel will look on me, but that's what we're gonna find out today. I'm gonna show you kind of the shades and kind of see what they look like. And Influencer also sent me the Can't Stop Won't Stop matte primer base. So I have not used this yet. I've seen some reviews on it, and it seems like it really does matte the face a lot. So let me tell you a little bit about the foundation in general. So like I said, it's $14.99. It's at Ulta. They have 45 shades. It says this is a comfy liquid formula in 45 flattering tones that don't transfer. Every creamy shade glides on smooth, delivering matte coverage and color that stays true for up to 24 hours. This little overachiever also works to control shine and mattify your complexion all day long, but it doesn't stop there. This foundation is non-comedogenic and suitable for normal, oily, combination, and sensitive skin types. Go ahead and let's get into kind of the shades. So the first one I'm going to use is Nutmeg. So put a little pump right here. So I'm looking now because my mirror is right here. So I'm gonna just put it right here. So this is Nutmeg. So Nutmeg, like right off, like you can tell it has like a, I guess I would call it like a warm neutral undertone. It does look right away like, oh, this would suit me. And I think that because this is my summertime color, that this would be fine for the summertime. But at the same time, it might be, for me, it's a hint too warm necessarily to wear on its own, and that's why I typically mix it with Golden. So let me give you Golden, and these are the two shades that I bought on my own. See, Golden is way too light for me on its own. And then Nutmeg, even though it does look pretty close to me, it's like a step, like I said, like a little step too dark for me, so I usually mix them together. Let me show you Nutmeg and Golden mixed. So I'm going to do one pump. Well, I usually do 2 pumps of Nutmeg and 1 pump of Golden. And then oh my gosh, I have so many things just falling right now. Let me mix them together on my finger. And for me, I really like this combination. I think it gives just enough warmth, and it gives just enough like a neutrally color. Like, see that? So this is nutmeg and golden mixed together. This is golden on its own, and this is nutmeg. Now you can really see how maybe originally nutmeg looked like it was perfect. Oh my god, excuse me guys, I may have to cut that out, but oh my gosh, so sorry. So as you can see, nutmeg maybe originally looked like it was perfect, and golden looked like it was too light, but mixed together, that is the color that I like, that kind of like perfect, neutral, but a little bit of warmth from the kind of golden yellow. That's the color that I most prefer on my skin. So then let's go to the one that Influencer sent me, which clearly has fallen, so I need to go ahead and pick that up. Okay, so the one that Influencer sent me was Warm Caramel. I want to see how closely Warm Caramel is to the one that I mixed together. Because like I said, I've never worn the Warm Caramel. So the Warm Caramel kind of looks, that's this right here, kind of looks like the one I mixed, but to me, it looks a little too peachy. So again, this is nutmeg, golden. So nutmeg to me is a step too dark. Golden clearly is a step too light. Mixed to me is a perfect neutral kind of warm yellow undertone. And then Warm Caramel to me looks a little bit too peachy. So too peachy, perfect, a little too light, a little too dark. So I think I'll still stick with me mixing nutmeg and golden together because I think that's the perfect color for me. I think Warm Caramel, again, I think that's just a little bit too peachy. I think in the winter time, I'll be able to use 2 pumps of golden and 1 pump of nutmeg, where right now I use 2 pumps of nutmeg and 1 pump of the golden color. So now that we've kind of gotten through some of our technical difficulties, we've kind of looked at some shade ranges, we'll go ahead and we will begin to apply this and see how it applies. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to moisturize the face. Now, typically speaking, I use my Drunk Elephant Virgin Luxury Facial Marula Oil, but I'm all out of that. So what I'm going to use my Patchology Aqua Flash. They sent this to me for review probably, gosh, 2, maybe even 3 months at this point. And I still have like a ton left in here. This actually is a really good moisturizer, and I didn't know how much I would like it because I really don't do the kind of gel moisturizers that much. I always find them like, I don't know if they're going to be sticky or weird, and it did take a little bit of a learning curve, I feel like, for me to get used to this, just figuring out how much to put on, because if you put too much on, it wouldn't absorb into my skin. If I put too little on, it would leave it a little bit too tacky. So it did, like I said, it took a little bit of a learning curve to kind of figure out how to use it, but overall, I like it now. It has a scent of, reminds me of a scent when I was a kid. I just don't know what it was. I don't know if it was inside of a baby doll head, but it kind of reminds me of a dryer sheet a little bit too. Like if you have like the fresh cotton dryer sheets, it kind of reminds me of that scent. So if you're sensitive to scent, it's not overpowering, but it does have a scent. And like I said, like it already now has dried, so it is nice. It does absorb into the skin quickly if you don't use too much, and that's why I'm saying it kind of took me a while to figure out how much of it to kind of use. I believe that this like holds like 10 times its weight in water, so that's like how much moisture it attracts to your face once you put it on there. So it does keep you nice and hydrated all day long. So I have really been liking that, and I found that even in the summertime when I put it on, it doesn't make my face oily. I think it's because of the way it absorbs and kind of like goes into the skin instead of kind of sitting on top of it for a little while. So I really do like it. So like I said, with foundation, I mix 2 pumps of nutmeg. So I usually just mix it on the back of my hand, and then I mix the 1 pump of golden. And then I just take, you know, one of my brushes, I just mix the foundation together on the back of my hand, give it a quick mix, and that is typically what I do to go ahead and get this going. I do use my Real Technique sponge, and I use it dry. I do not like using wet sponges. I know that typically that is the way that you use them, but I find that they shear the foundation too much, and I actually found that when I use that, even with a mattifying foundation, that it tends to, I don't know, something about the water to me makes the foundation look too dewy, and it never truly sets, so I don't like that. I like to use my sponges dry because they remind me more of kind of like if you're painting a wall. It smooths it out nice, almost like if you're spackling. It smooths it out just so nice. It goes on so quick. It applies beautifully. So it's like a sponge and a brush in one, except for you don't have the strokes left in your foundation from a brush, and you don't have that wet kind of dewiness from a sponge. So together, the dry sponge acts as like the best of both worlds. You're getting this like nice airbrush finish from the sponge, but you're getting like the beautiful application that you usually get from a brush, but you're not getting the strokes from a brush, and you're not getting kind of like that dewy wetness from a sponge. Now, the primer, I don't necessarily want to use it today because I want to just show you guys how the foundation looks on its own. Typically, I'm always like, oh, use the foundation the way that you use it, but that is the way I've been using it. I haven't even opened this primer yet, so I have not used this primer with the foundation, so I don't want to put it on now, and then all of a sudden something happens with the foundation, and I'm like, oh wow, that's not the way it's been looking. So when I do foundation reviews, I do use the foundation the way that I use it all the time. I use a varying variety of primers, and I use a varying variety of moisturizers. Sometimes I use primers, sometimes I don't. With this foundation in particular, I have not been using primers. I've been just using my moisturizer and then going in with it, and it's been fine. So I have the foundation on the back of my hand, I have my sponge, I dip it in a little bit, and then I go to work. And then see, instead of dabbing the way you do with the sponge, you kind of just brush it out like this. And I feel like it just, the application is just so nice. As you can see, that little bit covers so much on the face. I mean, it really did just cover nicely. So, I mean, we have pretty much half the face done. So if you can tell, like, this is the side that I just put the foundation on, and this is the side that I haven't put the foundation on. And that's with a dry sponge, and I feel like it just looks absolutely beautiful. I feel like it allows your product to go so much further, because as you guys saw, I don't have a lot of product on my hand. I mean, it literally is 3 pumps of foundation. That's it, and it sounds like a lot, but if you've ever pumped out of the NYX bottles, it's not a ton of foundation. So I personally prefer to do my foundation this way with a dried sponge versus a damp one, like I said. And brushes, just, I have yet to find any brush that doesn't leave strokes in my foundation. Even my Wayne Gloss brush leaves strokes in my foundation. So I've never found a brush that is truly airbrush and that can work with this type of precision this quickly. Like, I'm just using the rest of the foundation I have on my face, I mean on my hand, but I could be done already because my face is covered. This foundation, you do not need to go in with a second layer, at least I don't think so. I think that it gives you this nice full coverage right away. Now, this might not be full coverage for some of you out there, but I feel like this is nice full coverage for me. So I don't feel like there needs to be any buildup that happens. And I feel like because it dries down so quickly to a matte, if you're gonna build up, you want to do one side of your face very quickly and then go right in. You don't really have time to necessarily let it completely dry because it does. Look, this is already dry. Nothing. This is already, like, it just it mattifies onto your face already. But I think that this just looks beautiful with nothing else on. I think this foundation just looks amazing. And the price is, like, it's just right. So I think that if you are somebody who has like a favorite foundation like Fenty, I think that this may be a good alternative for you because it's super affordable, and I feel like it gives me the same kind of finish. It's not super thick, but it's not super liquidy. It's like right there in the middle, so I think it's just like a perfect consistency too. So like I said, I do not set this with a powder. As you can see, it dried itself completely down. It's not dewy, perfectly matte. So for me, I don't need to set this with a powder. I think the mixing of the foundations gives me kind of the perfect color, so I don't need to adjust it with a powder or anything like that. What I do want to do is I want to go in and I want to put on some of my concealers. And the concealers I have been using are these fantastic concealers. They are from First Aid Beauty, and they are these avocado concealers. So the funny thing about this is that I had requested one of these concealers From Octoly. Octoly is just a review site. If you have a channel, Instagram, you can go on there, you can request products. If the brand wants to, they'll send it to you. So I had requested to get the shade Rich because I really wanted to try the concealer out. So I was waiting for it to come, and then all of a sudden this massive box comes. And I'm like, you could only request one shade. What is this? And it was PR from First Aid Beauty. I've never received PR from them before, so I was kind of sort of shocked. And then of course, right after that, my Octoly concealer came. So I want to thank First Aid Beauty for sending me this PR because I've never gotten PR from them before, and I felt so blessed to be able to have this. Of course, I'm not using all the shades because there are quite a few light shades in here, but I'm going to be giving those to friends and family who are lighter complected who want to go ahead and use those. So for me, what I've been using is the shade Rich, which is number 6, and they go to number 7. So this is number 7, this is deep, so it's not crazy wide variety in the shade range, but I feel like with concealers you have a little bit more playroom with that, as far as how expansive the shade range needs to be. So I feel like although this isn't quite expansive as it could be, I think that it's a good jumping off point to get started. So what I use is number 6, which is Rich, and that's the color I use when I'm going to do maybe some concealing beforehand, so maybe before my foundation, because it's pretty much the same shade as my skin tone. The color that I have been using to kind of give myself a little brightness is the shade 5, and that's Tan. So this is the color that I'm going to use right now. I'm going to go in and just kind of, it has like a flat doe foot, which I really like because on both sides it's nice and flat, and it does pick up a lot of product. It's super creamy feeling. So it's just so lightweight, so creamy. I really like it. And I just kind of highlight really in the standard areas. Now I used to not do this. Like this was not something that I did. But once I got these concealers, they weren't thick. They didn't dry on me. They didn't look ashy. They just looked beautiful. They really are creamy like avocado. And avocado is my favorite thing to eat. I absolutely love avocado by itself, on toast, on tacos, in guacamole. Love avocado. So I think that's interesting that they, were able to apply that to a concealer and kind of give it the nice hydration that you need and still give you the coverage. Now, for me, this is not necessarily full coverage, but I think that it's kind of a medium coverage. Maybe if you built it up, I'm not somebody who builds up a ton of things, but I think it's nice medium coverage. And like I said, it really does give you moisturization. It doesn't dry your eyes out. It doesn't make me look crepey underneath my eyes. And it blends really well. So I let it just sit for a second, and I go in and I just use the other side of my sponge, and I just kind of give that a quick blend on the bottom. And then from that, let me see if I can find it. I take my brush. This is just a no name. I think I got this from Amazon. And then I just kind of go back in. And this is kind of just how I like to do it. So I work with, when I'm blending this in, I do like to work with both a sponge and with a brush. I'm not really sure why, to be quite honest with you. I think I just like to give it a smooth application, and I feel like the brush allows me to really blend it into the skin, and then the sponge allows me to really kind of just make sure it's where I want it to be and that it's nice and optimal smoothness afterwards. So I like to use a combination of the two, and I really, like I said, I really just like this. Like this color originally, I would think tan is just too ashy, but it's just really not. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's just so creamy. Like it just doesn't get dry the way other concealers do. Other concealers, I would try to do this, and it would just get so dry, and I hated it. Or if they were like kind of moisturizing, they were so moisturizing that it didn't cover anything. So I really like that. This is the best of both worlds. It's nice, it's creamy, it's not drying, but it does give you some nice coverage. So I really enjoy it. Why do I have a little foundation on my lippies? Looking kind of crazy. So that is the foundation, and that is the avocado concealer. So we have the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation mixed in golden and nutmeg, and then we have the avocado First Aid Beauty concealers, and I have the color Tan On, which is number 5. So I really like it. I think that it just gives me like a nice highlighted look. Looks beautiful. This is the combination I have been wearing to work literally every single day, like I said, for about 3 to 3.5 weeks. Absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up the rest of my face, come back on camera, we'll chat super quick, and then the rest of the day I'll be doing my check-ins. I'm going to wear the foundation for a minimum of 8 hours. Right now it is 12:12. If you guys can see that, it's 12:12 in the afternoon. So I will probably do my first check-in about 4:15ish, and then I will do my final check-in somewhere around like 8:15ish to kind of give you guys an overview, because I think most people's days are probably about 8 hours and or so, that you really want to at minimum have your foundation and your concealer kind of stay at least 8 hours, if not more. So that's how I'm going to do my check-in. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead, put on the rest of my face, and I will be right back. Alright guys, I finished putting my makeup on, and it's just a nice light day. My dad is down visiting me and my sisters, so they're going to come back over after church. I think we're going to go to Starbucks. We might go out and about for a little bit, walk around town, and then really just hang out and have family time together. So I didn't want to do anything kind of too dramatical. I just wanted something like just nice, light, and bright. So what I did was I used my Stila Sail Day waterproof liner in a micro tip. This is in black. Absolutely love the steel liner. I used my sample size of the MAC False Lashes in extreme black. I really have been loving this. Been trying to use up my sample sizes of stuff, and I really think that this gives nice length and color to my lashes, and this does not bleed onto the bottom part of my face, which I like and enjoy. I use the color 1993 and the Urban Decay. This is the Hi-Fi Shine lip glosses. I absolutely love this. I love the color 1993. And I really love it in a gloss. I'm a gloss gal, even if I wear lipstick. I love to wear gloss. Gloss is my go-to. I prefer gloss over lipstick because I don't like to have to reapply lipstick. I think it looks silly when it wears off. It bleeds. I just like to be able to toss gloss on with no mirror. It looks good. It's shiny. It hydrates. So I've really been loving that. I think it gives like a nice look, not too deep of a brown, but enough to show that there's kind of like something there. So I really did enjoy that. I used the Note Desert Rose blush on my face. I think this was in maybe a BoxyCharm a couple months ago, but I really like it. It's just kind of like a desert rose color. I don't want to say like a terracotta, but somewhere in between like a terracotta and kind of like a peach. That is my favorite color to put on my cheeks. I do like a pinky blush, but really like a terracotta color. I think just kind of goes with my skin tone better. So I really like that. It's not too bold, but it just gives a little bit of a flush, a little bit of something. Of course, I use my absolute favorite highlighter ever in the history of life, which is the MAC and Patrick Star Hot and Heavy Face Powder. Love this. However, guys, let me show you what happened. Oh, no. Do you guys see this? It completely broke and shattered. It actually fell out of my purse the other day. Broke, shattered, and went anywhere. So Patrick, if you want to give me another one, cool. Just kidding. But that is my favorite highlighter. I just love it. I love how it gives like just a natural glow. It's not too much, just beautiful. I love it. So I am probably gonna have to get another one, because right now I am using it kind of broken and just putting a little bit on my brush and going in, and I love it. I never want to be without it. I love the packaging from Patrick's collection, so need to have it. I also set my face with the Urban Decay all-nighter setting spray. I do this regardless of foundation, regardless of powder. It doesn't matter. I always set my face with this. It has just become habit, so always go ahead and put this on. And then because I didn't put any, when we were going through, I didn't put any foundation on my eyelids, and that is particularly because I don't like to use foundation as a primer for eyeshadow, because on my eyelids I find that it creases. And then of course, because I wasn't putting on eyeshadow today, I didn't want to put any foundation on my eyelids because I didn't want to start creasing. What I did go in with was the Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. This is in the color 3. which is dark, which really isn't that deep, but it's dark for her line. It's the darkest one. I just took my eyeshadow brush and I just put it all over my eyelids just to give it kind of a neutral color, so that way it didn't look so stark against my face that had foundation on it. So I just gave it like a smooth neutral color because I do use this as setting powder from time to time. So I went ahead and just used it on my eyes and made everything look very cohesive and in unison. So it is now, when we stopped, it was 12:12. It is now 12:26. So it literally only took me like 13 minutes to put the rest of my face together. So you can really do quick looks. Maybe I will do like a quick like 20-minute work look because I feel like this looks good. You know, it's not too much, but it looks like you have something on. I think that it looks put together, but it is not going to take you a lot of time. What I did forget to tell you guys was for my eyebrows, I used the new Benefit Brow Couture Pro, the one that looks like a little pen. It has all the different colors. I did use this. I have found that I really do like using this for my eyebrows. Benefit is one of my favorite eyebrow products. I have replaced Anastasia with Benefit, and I really like that new pen that they have out because you can put the lighter color in front, then you can put the darker color in the back part of your eyebrow. It also has kind of like a cleanup color for underneath your eyebrow, and then it also has a highlighting color. I didn't use any of those today. I just used the lightest shade and did my entire brow with it because I just wanted a nice light, nothing kind of too structured, a quick brow. So I didn't use the darker color. I didn't use the kind of contour shade for your eyebrows. I didn't use the highlight. This is just a quick kind of toss on brow to just fill in some places, but nothing too structured. So guys, that's it. Like I said, I'll probably come back around 4:15 to do a check-in, and then about 8:15 to do my final check-in. So I will see you guys then. So until then, hope you guys are having something fun to do with your day. Enjoy your day, watch some Lifetime movies, hang out, and just enjoy whatever weather you're having where you're at, and I will see you in a couple hours. Hey guys, I'm back to do the very first check-in. It's a little bit after 4. My sister and I just got back from Starbucks. So I got my pumpkin spice latte on because basic is a feeling, and in autumn, basic it is. So super excited about that. We also ate at Jersey Mike's with my dad and my husband. If any of you guys have ever had Jersey Mike's, it's like such a good hoagie, but it has like tons of like vinegar and oil on it. So I got like, I mean, let's be real, some of it came down onto my chin, so I don't see that it has even like broken up or anything from, you know, eating. Clearly my lip gloss is completely gone because like I said, I was eating. I was also drinking my Starbucks. We've been out and about for quite some time now. Ooh, it's like a little bit humidity outside, just taking the curls to a new level, and it's getting ready to rain, so there's been quite a lot going on. I don't feel extra oily. I don't appear to be extra oily. Nothing on my fingers, you know, so yeah, that's more like highlight, but there's nothing, no brown from the foundation or anything like that. So it looks really good. Like I said, it doesn't look like it's broken up anywhere. You can see minimal little creasing right there, and those little bit of fine lines that I have. Right here from eating, I did have like a little breakout the other day that I did pick at, so it kind of left like a little scab, and you can see that that's not really covered by foundation anymore. It kind of is the color of the scab, and I think that was from like eating, and as I was eating, kind of, I was trying not to wipe, I was trying more to dab, but you can see it kind of took away a little bit of the foundation there. So that's not the foundation's fault, that's just my fault from like eating, and I don't necessarily expect a foundation to kind of stay on any type of like scab or anything like that. Cover it, yeah. Stay on, no. So I will come back in another 4 hours, give you guys your final check-in, but I think so far, so good. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, so I'm back to do my check-in. It is about 8:28, so we have had this on for a little bit over 8 hours. I just want to come back and show you guys. Everything looks really good. I don't have anything, nothing wiping off, nothing coming off. I don't look extra oily, nothing on my face. So it's really nice that nothing has transferred, nothing has gotten extra oily. My smile lines did not recrease after my initial press-in. This little blemish is still without foundation, but I kind of expect that because it's a blemish. Although I originally covered it, it didn't stay covered, but I was eating, and it's kind of like, I don't necessarily expect foundation to stay on it because it's like a dry patch, so it's not really going to cling to it the way it does to the rest of your skin. So I'm not doubting it for that. I think that it wore beautifully. I think that matches my skin perfectly. It's lightweight. I really did like and enjoy it. So again, this is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. I do 2 pumps of Nutmeg. I do 1 pump of Golden. It is $14.99 at Ulta. NYX is always running specials like buy one get one half off. Ulta always has their $3.50 off $15 coupon, so this is super affordable. So let's go ahead and look at the rating system. So this rating system is inspired by and in style of Thrift, who has the pause system. I came up with my own kind of system, so let me go ahead and look down at it. And it is the, because I just came up with this, it is the CAPS system. So the CAPS system is claims, application, price, and shade range. So first off, let's go ahead and look at the claims. So I'm going to look and see what they claimed. So they claimed that this was a comfortable liquid formula. Absolutely, very comfortable, did not feel heavy, did not feel stiff, did not feel oily on the face at all. It also said that it didn't transfer. It did not transfer for me. It didn't come off on my clothes, didn't come off on my hand, didn't come off when I was eating onto the bread, nothing. So that did stand up to that claim. It also says that it would hold up for 24 hours. I did it for 8, but for 8 it absolutely did hold up. So I don't know if the 24-hour claim is 100%, but for what I did it for, it absolutely did stay on. And it said that it was good for oily combination and sensitive skin types. I absolutely do think that. Again, I'm oily combination. Sometimes I lean towards the dry the older I get, but it worked perfectly for me. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't get extra oily, I didn't get extra dry, I didn't start to break out from the foundation. So for claims, I think that was an A+. So let's go to the next part of our rating system. So the next part of the rating system we have is application. Application, I used a dry, what is this? I don't know why I'm brain farting right now. This is a dry Real Techniques sponge, and it applied perfectly. It applied very smoothly. It didn't settle into my fine lines or pores. I thought the application was perfect. It didn't leave any streaks. It was wonderful. It was lightweight. It didn't get kind of clumpy anywhere. It wasn't hard to work with, even it just dried down to a matte finish kind of quickly. It wasn't as hard for me to move around as like the Fenty foundation. So I thought the application was wonderful. I think that also gets an A+. The price, $14.99, usually is buy one get one 50% off, and always has a $3.50 off coupon at Ulta. So the price to me is very affordable for the quality, for the type of thing it is, which is foundation, which even drugstore foundations are fairly expensive these days. So I think $14.99 in comparison to drugstore and high-end price foundations was perfect. And I think that it is something that most people could afford and could fit into their price range, especially with 45 shades. I think that some way, somehow, you may be able to find a shade that suits you, even if you have to do like me, which I have to blend to. If you can get buy one, get one 50% off, it's still under $20 for 2 foundations that you may have to mix. So I think that that also gets an A+. Shade range. Shade range is 45 shades. Now to me, it doesn't matter if you have 45 shades, doesn't matter if you have 70 shades, doesn't matter if you have 10 shades. It's not about the number of shades that you have, it's about the shade range that you have. If you only have 10 to work with, it's about being just inclusive in the light, medium, and deep categories. And I think with their 45 shades, they're extremely inclusive with not only the shade range but the undertones. I think that they really try to cover the entire spectrum and at least give varying options to everybody. So I really do appreciate that. I think it's fantastic. I think that with 45 shades that you can find something that is very close to you, if not spot on for you. So I think that not only do they have an expansive shade range as far as numbers, but they have an expansive shade range as far as inclusiveness and giving an overall view to each. Like I said, light, medium, kind of deep. It's very overall for each one of those ranges. I don't think it's lacking in any one particular area. So overall, I would give this an A+. I think that it got an A in each one of the categories. Overall, I think that it would get an A+ from me. So I think that it's pretty close to perfect. I think that would probably be like a 98%. And the only reason why I say 98% is because I didn't test it for 24 hours. So I'm not quite sure if it would last 24 hours, but it did last, 8 hours, a little bit over 8 hours. So 98% A+. I think that this is definitely something that you should pick up if you're at Ulta, if you're in kind of the department for a new foundation. If you can't find your shade range in other foundations, I think that you should definitely give this a try and see if this works for you, because I really like it. And like I said, I've been using this for about 3.5 weeks. and this is my go-to. This is kind of right now is my #1 foundation, and I think that it's going to continue to be my #1 because it is, again, pretty close to perfect, and I really, really, really love it. I really love the coverage it gives me. I really love the shade range that it gives me. I just overall love everything about it. So I'm really, really, really impressed. I think NYX, I think Alyssa Ashley, I think they did a fantastic job. I think that the price, like, I mean, my gosh, the price point is fantastic. The quality that you're getting is fantastic. The shade range that you're getting is fantastic. I just really, really like this foundation. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. I am excited to try the primer with it at some point, but I don't really know how much more matte you could get because I think that this was really, really perfect with it. But I guess I will see how their primer works with it and if it fares better or worse for it. So I'll try that out in the future. But yeah, so overall, guys, like I said, A+. Love it. Definitely would recommend. So if you guys enjoy this video, please give me 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. If you guys have not already, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you can be notified of all my future and upcoming videos. If you've tried this foundation, please let me know what you think about it down in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Let me know how you kind of fared with that. How did you think that it looked on me? How did you think the application with the dry sponge was? What's your preferred method of application? Would you ever try a dry sponge? Let me know all those things kind of down in the comment section below and give me some tips and tricks and things maybe that you use with this particular foundation, or if there's any other foundations that I should kind of try out that maybe might be equal to this foundation. So guys, until next time, I appreciate you guys for spending your time with me. I appreciate you guys for making it through these videos because the wear tests do tend to be much longer. I will try to put some timestamps so that way if there's something particular that you want to watch about the video, you can do that. So I'll try to remind myself of that. But I do appreciate you guys spending some time with me and kind of seeing how this foundation worked out for me. Until next time, guys, I will miss you guys. I love you. I have to get these contacts out of my eyes because they are churning and burning in my eyes. I have to get them out. They're like scratchy. I want to throw on my glasses. So till next time, guys, I love you. I miss you. I'll see you in my next video. I love you guys. Bye.